Alright, so we are not going to use the chrome lug nuts that we had. These are what came on the car. Not a big fan of the chrome lug nuts, so we got some lug nuts right here. These came from Fasco. That is a lug nut supplier right around the corner from us. They're in Pinellas Park. They supply almost everybody with lug nuts. So the ones we chose are black, they're hex. See, they kind of go with the whole look of the car that we're going with. This is a Civic. It's not a Civic Type R. A lot of people have asked, is this a genuine Civic Type R? No, it's not. It's a Civic DX. We're not trying to make it look like a Civic Type R. It just so happens that we wanted bigger brakes and suspension. So this car already came with the 5-lug and the US Type R wheels, which I really think suits the car. So the black nuts look good. I'm waiting for the center cap to come back. That should be back any day. In fact, I want to make a call, find out where they are. And next step is the calipers too. We're going to put the wheels on right now just so we can roll the car and move it. But I definitely like the way they look.
Alright, I've got my wiring in for the gauges. I kept the orange there and the gray for the scramble and warning light if they choose to be used at a later date. And I got my power from the radio since it no longer has a radio or will not be using a radio, so I'll use its power. And next we're going to drill some holes in this cover.
Yeah, sometimes like Christmas when we get 3 or 4 boxes coming in. These are pads for a future build. This is for the white hatch. More cool stuff. Steering wheel. Little adapter. Can't really see. Seats behind me. Just waiting for one more set of rails to come in, and then we're going to be putting that interior together. Yeah, that is much better. It's more usable and it's still got the lowered appearance. Of course, it's still going to have the handling characteristics being lower, but that's my favorite look. If you look at the wheel and tire, you can actually see there is a slight gap above the tire. It just looks balanced to me. When the tire has disappeared up in the fender well, it changes the look of the car and it kind of looks like, almost looks droopy. I know it's kind of weird sounding, but it kind of looks like when it's covering that, it looks droopy to me. This just looks very clean. Some kind of solar program. Really nice that they reached out to let me know. However, not something I need right now. But it is good to know. Alright, so the moldings are going back on. As you see, we've got the lower pieces on there. And I know someone's going to ask about painting them. We didn't paint them. Again, this isn't a Civic Type R, and we didn't shave the sides, and we didn't color match these. It does look good, I admit, but we're not trying to make this a Civic Type R, so the pieces that came off are all in good shape. I'm going to go ahead and clean them and wax them and see how they look. And then we should be able to just pop them back on. But back in the CRX days, we used to take the plastics and clean them, get them painted, leave the rubber piece, and it does look good. It's just really expensive to do, and not so much cut corners. What's another way of cutting corners? Reducing expenses. Alright, the side moldings are on. It's starting to look like a car again. Again, it's really starting to stand out with the black and the white. It's really contrasting nicely. Alright, so if you're looking for the boost solenoid, it is right here. George made a little titanium mount there. It's rubber mounted. What did you say?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. That's alright. Alright. Bye. Just talking about the hatch. So it's on a nice little rubber mount. These don't want to be solid, obviously. These are the boost hoses. This one goes to the valve. We all know what that is. And next is the intercooler is out getting painted right now. It's getting done satin black. It's done epoxy because he wants it to disappear. So when it comes back, we can bolt that on. And then the intercooler pipes we're waiting on also. They can go back on. If you're wondering where the horn is, it's here. So I might make these seats look heavy. They're actually not too bad. I'm supposed to say I'm supposed to make it look like. There is 2 seats in here, George. Nice. Oh, look at that.
The bottle of Evian.
It's a bottle of Evian water.
Go drink a bottle yourself.
Look at that. I thought it was somebody throwing trash in there. I was like,
A brand new bottle.
I bet it's not better than pretty water.
Yeah, who knows?
If I show that to Esther, she'll say pretty water is better. What do you think? It's still nice, though. Look at that. It's from the French Alps. You know where I'm from? Alright, so the Corbeau seats, I've actually used these many times in the past, and they're definitely one of my favorite seats. One, they look nice, but they're comfortable and usable. They're fairly light. The material they use is good. I'm not going to say anything more, but I once bought a set of Recaros that were just like the Integra Type R JDM seats, and they had almost like a fabric material, and it was terrible to stay clean. It would get hairs and dust under here, and you couldn't get it from the material. You sit and vacuum, and it wouldn't come out. It would get trapped under there. It was the worst material to deal with. And then the material started looking like it was fraying pretty early. It didn't hold up very well at all. Let me pull this wrapping off here so I can show you these. I opted for the suede finish with the, I think they call them like a high wear load areas here, which is just almost like a vinyl. This is a nice material, and again, very easy to take care of. It's almost like Alcantara. They call it suede, so it actually grips you when you're in there. Another couple of things I like about this, and again, it's about function as well. I mean, this is a good looking seat, but over here, the recline, and it's a normal style recliner. You pull this lever, and it reclines like a normal seat. You put this back, and it clicks like an OEM seat. Yeah, so if you look at some of the other seats, they have a big knob on the side, and they're usually universal. They'll have a knob on each side so you can make it driver or passenger. But when you want to recline it, you're turning this knob, and not only is it kind of difficult to turn, the seat moves so slow. So if I was to get out of the car and George drive it, say, well, reclining it's a lot of time and effort to do it. You can slide the seat forward. George is shorter than me, so he'll pull the seat forward. Well, if he wants the seat to be in a different position, this thing, just like factory, I mean, it's super easy. With the lever, put it where you need it. Makes it much easier if you got 2 drivers. Alright, so we got the seat rails from Corbeau also. They make a bunch and they fit almost everything. So the seats come with bolts. It looks like it fits. That's what it's important. Alright, so customer decided he was going to add harnesses to this car, so I'm going to partially pull it back apart, take this bracing off, take the seat belts out, and then put the bracing back together, and then somewhere on there the harness bar should mount. Alright, quick look at the inside. You can see the gauges are in there. That is the JDM block off where the double-din radio would go. These are the gauges he wanted. He wanted a boost gauge and a air fuel. Well, We talked about it earlier, we did a true boost. That way we have a boost controller and we can change boost settings on the fly. We can basically tune the car with 3 boost settings, and it can be changed without pulling out a laptop or anything like that. Also, if you get a cold or a hot day and the boost changes, which it does, cool and hot weather does change the boost, you can change it on the fly. Let's say we tuned it for 10 psi and it's a cold day and the car's boosting, you know, 11, 12, 13. You go in here, boop, 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 turn it down, you're good to go. All right, there is one seat in. Just cleaned up the dash a little bit. Still had a little bit of the body shop dust on it. So let's go ahead. We'll put the other one in. This is starting to look like a car now. All right, both seats are in. I definitely like the look. They're comfortable too. I just sat in the driver's side one. All right, George is removing the wheel. Set the airbag out, then the wheel. We'll show you what it looks like. We have the hub adapter too. So hopefully the finish on the wheel matches.